Hello, everyone. Um, I'm going to tell you a story today. Once upon a time, humanity lived in a very difficult and unpredictable times when humanity was not just battling a deadly virus that had the potential to even keep the most powerful humans behind closed doors, but at the same time, our information technology landscape around the world was also battling a deadly pandemic. So there were voluminous distributed denial of service attacks. On one hand, there were malicious phishing campaigns going on to trick individuals into performing a task that they had never even imagined to do. At the same time, there were also very cleverly crafted malwares which were being pierced into our endpoint devices. And we humans, we were just there, waiting in despair, thinking about what are the things that we can do to protect ourselves. But as one of my favorite poets says, that in the depths of winter, inside me, I found an invincible summer. So, this crisis that we are all going through, where we have a global pandemic and a global information security pandemic, this situation will actually help in the evolution of the next generation of digital defenders who are going to do their best to protect the world, to protect the information assets, and to protect people like you and me to create a better and beautiful world. Thank you so much to the organizers of Tech Now Day in collaboration, which also happens to be on the International Women's Day on March 8, 2021. So I'm very glad to be here to present to you all about the evolving cybersecurity careers in the age of AI, big data, mobility, and social media. So through this presentation today, we will look at the global security pandemic, and then we will look at the rise of the next generation of digital defenders who are going to be our hope for the future. So, on that note, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So, my name is Sarba Roy. I am an IT risk and security consultant, a certified ethical hacker, and a women's empowerment advocate. So, I think being a part of the Tech Now Day gives me a lot of pleasure and pride and happiness because the amazing line of speakers around the world who are women doing phenomenal work in their own fields in technology gives me hope of a diverse and inclusive future in the world of tech. So I'm very, very glad to be here today. And I am a big believer of the law of dharma, which says that I want to use my skills to create a better world. So that is going to be my objective through my own career. Now, on that note, let us see what awaits you in this presentation. So, covered today is going to be the Internet of Everything, the global security pandemic, and as I promised to you, we are going to talk about the rise of the next generation of digital defenders, and then we will look at what lies ahead for us in our future. So, to give you a perspective of the timeline of our cyber era, so I'm sure most of us have experienced the growth of the cyber landscape just the way we have aged over time. This era has also grown with us. So while 20 years back it was all about the internet of content, where it was the main focus was to connect computers through a world wide web kind of a network, and vulnerability management or protection against cyber threats was the main focus. That slowly gave way to the Internet of Services, which was all about the Web 2.0, where it was not just about content, but it was also about dynamic web pages which were coming up, which were able to, cater our needs to the growing desire to have information at our fingertips. And during this time, the protection actually gave way to detection, because it was no longer just enough to keep to stay protected, but it was also necessary to defend ourselves from any future threats. And then slowly started the most interesting phase of the internet, which was about internet of people. So with smartphones, with gadgets that we can access to our fingertips, through the rise of the social media, internet was not just about devices, it was also about people. So this was the social and mobile age that has evolved over the last 10 years. And here, the idea was to protect ourselves was not just enough to, to detect our threats, but it was also necessary to respond to them as quickly as possible. And now, right now, as we speak, this is the internet of everything, where any device that we have around us, which is connected to the internet, now that has the capability to, express everything about us to the outside world. We are facing the looming, vulnerabilities related to our identity thefts, related to phishing, related to malwares. We have so many things because everything around us, right from our smart devices where we ask them to play our favorite songs, to our refrigerators, to our mobile phones, to our computers, to our servers, everything is connected through the cloud. So, this is the phase of the internet of everything. And here, it's not just important to protect, detect, and respond to the threats, but it's also important to take a step ahead and predict what could be the possible threats. So now, as I said, the internet of everything is our reality right now. We cannot run away from it. So, what to give you a perspective of this, in the IoT universe today, there are almost 20 to 30 billion interconnected devices which are powered by artificial intelligence. Can you just imagine the magnitude of this? Isn't it, amazing to realize that? But at the same time, according to IBM, we are generating almost 2.5 quintillion bytes of data every day. I won't even go to counting the number of zeros which are here, because it's just phenomenal and just amazing to see how much processing powers our information systems have right now. But every good side also has a bad side. So right now, according to Cisco, by 2021, which is right now, almost $6 trillion worth of cybercrime attacks will be our reality, which is 50% more than what it was in 2015. Over a period of just 6 years, our cybercrime rates have just doubled, and not just in volumes but also in sophistication. Isn't that just take a moment to process this information that I have just shared with you, and just imagine the magnitude of the cyber threats and vulnerabilities that we are all in the middle of. So, this increased attack surface and the sophisticated attack techniques have given way to a new phrase or the new reality that we have, which is the global security pandemic. Well, so almost according to the Verizon data breach investigation report of 2020, let us look at how these breaches, what are the characteristics of these breaches and who are they targeting them. So 86% of the data breaches were financially motivated. Right now, all our transactions mostly are electronic. We have hardly, I mean, I don't remember the last time I used cash for any of my payments. So definitely the malicious hackers out there, the malicious cyber criminals, now they will be definitely financially motivated in most of their crimes that they are going to commit against us. 43% of the data breaches were on web applications. Now, due to this pandemic, we have all moved online, right from Zoom calls to paperless payments to studying online to doing all our major tasks online. Everything, I mean, online is our new reality, and that is why the malicious cyber criminals are targeting our web applications, which is almost double from what it was last year, that is 2019. And 27% of the data breaches were due to malwares. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have experienced malware till now. I mean, it could be a simple virus, too. It could be something like a Trojan horse that could be sitting in your system and, recording your keystrokes as you would be oblivious to the things that would be going on in the background. But malwares are a reality, and they are just going to get complex and more, difficult to detect and difficult to protect ourselves from. So, this is a grim reality that we live in. And so security pandemic, as I mentioned, to give you a perspective and a view of how this actually is visible, here are a few links that you can see. So I would recommend using Information is Beautiful, Digital Attack Map, the Threat Map, and Talos Intelligence to have a view of the security pandemic that we are dealing with. I'll also take a moment to show you how it looks. So this is the live cyber threat map that you're seeing. So right now there are number of attacks which are going on, and most of the top malware types that you can see are related to botnet, phishing, and backdoors. And this is also a very good visualization tool which will give you the number of data breaches that have happened over the past few years. So, now that we have a perspective of the global security pandemic, is that it? Do we take a step back and just surrender? Well, that's not how it is. Because right now we have four important important tools or enablers that are definitely going to increase our attack surface, but they will also help us in our fight against the rising rate of cybercrimes. So now let's see how cybersecurity will be affected by AI, social media, mobility, and big data. So, along with being an important attack surface, AI will be a powerful tool in threat intelligence because using the huge volume of data that we can gather through AI, Our threat intelligence will be powered with something called as a behavioral analytics, which will help in predicting the future attacks. Now, social media. With remote working, social engineering attacks and identity thefts will be on the rise as well. Mobility, so because of the rising numbers of mobile devices that we will have, the number of volumes, the increased volume of malwares will be targeted towards the mobile devices. And then big data. So data privacy will be on the forefront. And because of the massive amount of data which is being mined by people like you and me. So let me go back to what I said in the beginning of today's presentation. In the midst of winter, I found myself having or living an invincible summer. So, through this crisis, through the challenges that we are facing, this will actually trigger the rise of the next generation of digital defenders. The people that I am rooting for, that we all should root for, and the reason why we are having this presentation in the first place. So, who are these digital defenders and what are they going to do? So, these digital defenders will actually be skilled cybersecurity professionals like you, like me, who will be bravely and passionately preparing themselves to combat against the highly complex attacks from cybercriminals in a rapidly evolving IoT universe of which is powered by AI, big data, mobility, and social media. Now, before we go further, you might be interested in knowing that what are the qualities these digital defenders should have? The first thing is that they have to be ambassadors of security. Now, I tell this in any presentation that I share with anyone around the world that you do not have to be a trained security professional to be a security ambassador. Now, given the times that we are living in, it's very important for all of us, no matter what we do and where we are, we have to be ambassadors for security. We have to educate ourselves as well as our communities about safe and secure online practices that we can follow. So, along with this, the digital defender has to keep learning about the latest trends, the breaches, the attack techniques, even in their sleep, if they may, to protect themselves and the world. Now, there are many podcasts, there are many security professionals out there doing their best to educate all of us on the best security practices, the latest trends. So, I think all of us have this responsibility to make use of the content that's out there waiting for us to be consumed. Now, along with that, one bitter reality or one bittersweet reality that we live in is that right now it's not just enough for us to be terrific and awesome in our own tasks, but we have to leverage the power of collaboration. So, what this means is that all our future cybersecurity defenders have to collaborate and network with each other to find ways to deal with the huge cybersecurity pandemic that we are all dealing with. So it's not just enough to work in isolation, but to actually work with everyone around you who has this purpose of protecting the world against cybercrimes. And the best part is that this work will urge you to be a creative problem solver. Now, in my 8 years of journey as a cybersecurity consultant, I have not had a single dull day at work because each day I have something to fix, something to be better. I mean, security is never a destination, it is more of a journey. And the people who are interested in creatively solving the problems that everyone thinks cannot be solved, they are, you know, going to be the next level of digital defenders. And the next generation of our digital defenders are the security ambassadors, they are collaborators, and they are creative problem solvers. So, as a digital defender, what is going to be your career progression? So, no matter where you are, you can always transition into a career in cybersecurity. I have said this enough, and I will keep saying this till I don't see a change around me. So right now we are living in such an important phase of life where, or human history, if I would say, that information is freely available out there. There are free courses, there are free mentoring groups, and there are so many people out there who are ready to enable you. So no matter if you are a entry level, mid level, or a senior person in your career, there is always a way in which you can transition into a cybersecurity career. And as an entry level, you can start off as somebody who's specializing in a particular domain. Like you can be a vulnerability assessor, or a incident responder, a penetration tester, a security analyst, a forensic expert, and so on. If you are somewhere in the middle, you can think of being into a strategic position where you are acting as a consultant, specializing in different domains of security, giving direction to the people to choose which uh, particular path in cybersecurity the organization has to adopt in order to protect themselves. And at a senior level, one can think of being a chief information security officer, because this role, to be honest, was not that prominent over the last few decades, but it is something that is growing into prominence. So the thing that I want to tell you is that there is no limit to the possibilities that you have in a cybersecurity career. And no matter what experience, or the how many number of experiences, how many years of experiences you have, it's never too late to brace yourself into a career in cybersecurity. But it is a tough, mentally it is going to challenge you. It's an intellectually demanding field. You just have to continuously learn and adapt yourselves. But if you're ready for it, then this the sky's the limit in this career field for you. So, how do you find your career pathway? Now, I have found this visual, which is very important, and it has been prepared by CompTIA in collaboration with NICE. Which is the National Initiative of Cybersecurity Education here in the US, which sponsored by NIST. Now, I tell this to all my mentees, and also to anyone who's interested in a career in cybersecurity. Now, you don't have to look at cybersecurity and go into a career which you think will be lucrative or which will pay you dividends. Rather, you have to actually go deep into yourself. You have to see what are the things you like doing. Are you a person who likes investigating things? Do you like to govern and oversee things? Do you like to protect and defend, or operate and maintain, or securely provision? So, depending on the things that you like doing, it is best if you then choose a career path in cybersecurity. Because, for example, with me, I'm a person who likes to focus more from who wants to look at a range of cybersecurity domains. So, or someone who likes to give a strategic perspective to things. So I am trying to build my career in that way. So similarly, if you are, for example, interested in protecting and defending, So a career path in response or vulnerability assessment and management could really help you, because that way you're also enjoying what you do at work instead of pushing yourself for work. And remember, I mean, given the security pandemic that we are all going to experience and we are all experiencing, it's very, very important for you to be passionate in your work, or else we are not going to win this battle. So, on that note, so I encourage you to go to the CompTIA certification path or a career path and just find out the career options that would suit you the best in cybersecurity. Now, next, I'll talk a little bit about the present generation infosec roles, and then I'll move to our most important topic for today, which is the next generation of digital defender roles. So right now we are having roles like penetration tester, security analyst, ethical hackers, security engineers, architects, code review specialists, and so on, even SOC analysts. So there, this list is not exhaustive. So I have just tried to create a sample and share it here to give you a perspective. But what I would like to focus today is that it's not just enough for you to be, moving into. It's good if you start off with a generic role in cybersecurity that can give you hands-on experience and knowledge about the different domains. But going forward, some of the important roles that the world would need are cloud security experts, because clouds, every infrastructure around the world will slowly move to cloud because of its flexibility, reliability, and so on. And it would be more than necessary for people to be having cloud security experts who can advise and protect their cloud infrastructure. There would be a need of threat hunters, because remember I mentioned that it's not just important to for us to protect ourselves from the threats, but also to predict the threats. There would be a need of digital forensic specialists, the people, if there's a data breach right now, we need people who look into the entire breach and find out the fastest way to reach to the perpetrators or the criminals who committed the crimes. So, this is a role that's very exciting. Also, security incident responders and anti-malware experts, because when we are targeted by malwares, it's important for us to also have the people who can reverse engineer it and then find ways to correct it or patch it. And then there's a need of data privacy officers, because from a compliance perspective, I think as individuals, data privacy is something that is our right, and organizations will need data privacy officers to help them adopt their policies better, to adopt the privacy guidelines. Now, first, let's talk about cloud security experts. Who are they? Now, the cloud security experts, as I mentioned, will implement security requirements for cloud implementation and integration. This role is going to be highly versatile and technical. At the same time, it will also need very good communication skills, because the level of stakeholders that you would be dealing in this role will be very diverse. So if you're someone who loves, getting into technical stuff, into heavy network engineering, application security, even virtual system skills, this could be the perfect career path for you. And what will these people do? So they will be playing a pivotal role in ensuring the cloud security governance, risk assessment, as well as management, along with the operational security activities. So, what should you know for this? It's very important to have some experience in the public cloud environment like Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. So, they are also offering specialized certifications. It's important if you are interested in this role to at least understand these technologies, to get hands on experience on them. And many of them also have a community edition. So, you can also play around them if you do not yet have an opportunity to work on them hands on in your work. And then, if you also have a knowledge of IT security solutions like security event monitoring, data leakage prevention, web application firewalls, MFA, and so on, it is going to help you. And cloud is just going to get bigger and bigger. And I think I remember a joke here. So a child asked their parent that what is actually a cloud, and the parent replied that it is actually someone else's computer, which is hiding there somewhere in the huge network of information systems. So yes, this is the reality of cloud, and if you are someone who wants to ride on the tide of information technology, changes and developments, cloud security could be a very, very, very good option for you. And some of the certifications that you can help you get a perspective and understanding are the CCSK by the Cloud Security Alliance, the CCSP by the ISC Square, and also the Certified Cloud Security Specialist. So I would highly encourage you to explore this area of the next generation of digital defenders role if you have this desire to work on cutting edge technology and also to play a small role in protecting our cloud infrastructure. Now, the next one is threat hunters. Do you remember that when we were children, we read about our ancestors from the long time back in human history when they used to hunt for their existence? So, right now, that role has changed a little bit, and we are now going to need the threat hunters, the people who identify advanced threats and then track and mitigate them before the organizational IT systems are attacked. So these people will play a crucial role in predicting future attacks and preventing them before we are actually in the middle of a security breach or a cyber attack. Now, as per predictions, they will advanced threats especially will constitute almost 10% of the cyber threats that are missed by the security operations solution center solutions. So threat hunters will play a very, very, very important role here. What will they do? So they'll hunt for those cyber threats and risks which are hiding inside data, and they'll organize and analyze the collected data to determine the trends in security environment to predict future threats. I have recently participated in a threat hunting workshop, which was organized by Faith Opio. She's amazing. She's from IBM and she's a threat hunter. And let me tell you, this is an exciting field that you would like to explore because it will help you combine your knowledge of data sciences with data analytics, as well as it will give you a deep understanding. If you have a deep understanding of firewall logs, intrusion detection systems, so all these volumes of data, the data that you will have, you can use them to predict the future attacks. It's a very, very, very exciting field. And to start off, you can start off with CompTIA Security Plus certification. It will give you a perspective. And then the best part, where can these people work? So from 2018 to 2028, CompTIA projects an increase of almost 32% for security analysts, and a major part of them would be people with skills related to threat hunting. So this field has a huge possibility for you if you're interested in the next level of digital defender role in cybersecurity. The next one again is about digital forensic specialist. So these are the people who will primarily enter the crime scene or the picture once a information security breach has happened, which is really unfortunate, but it's a reality. So they will actually put the investigation trench coat and dig deep into evidence. But the good thing is that here there's no blood and guts, it's just digital trails. So, in simplicity, they'll be helping us investigate data breaches and then find evidences that can be produced in the court of law. They'll also help us track down the criminals who have committed those crimes. So, it could be a disgruntled employee, or it could be a state attack from another nation, or it could be a simple script kiddie who was just having fun. So, these are the people who will help us find those people. So, what should you know for this role? So, first of all, it's very important. It's a very technical role, and a deep understanding of mobile operating system of networking hardware is very crucial here. And if you have a proficiency on the latest cybersecurity, forensics response, reverse engineering skills, and so on, that also adds value. So uh, uh, a little bit of programming experience also helps, like Python, Bash, Perl, or PHP. And for certification, you can explore the CHFI, which is the Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator certification, and it will give you a broad understanding of this domain. Now, as I showed you in an earlier website, that data breaches are just getting bigger and better every day. So the need of digital forensic specialists will just skyrocket over the next few years, and especially the law enforcement agencies will need them. So, if you want to get into the FBI, CIA, or even your district attorney offices, this could be a very good option for you. Now, next we go to the anti-malware experts. Now, malware. I think the name itself rings a bell in our ears because at some point of time we have all experienced malware in our own lives. So, anti-malware experts are the people who are like the surgeons. So, in the field of cybersecurity, they are the people who dissect the exploit, they identify the target vulnerability, and then they can use their programming skills to gain an understanding of how an attack can be defended against. So just like the way a surgeon dissects a tumor, understands what caused it, and then gives you the medicines or the remediation that can help you prevent the reoccurrence. Similarly, an anti-malware expert is someone who will work with cybersecurity experts and make an invaluable contribution against protection and mitigation of cybersecurity threats. Now, what should they know? So, this is a very programming centric role, and you have to have a very strong understanding of C or C, Windows APIs, operating system internals, and so on. You should also have the idea of how to reconstruct unknown file formats and data structures. So, also at a protocol level, you need to know how to reconstruct unknown TCP/IP protocols. So this and along with that, understanding or experience with IDA Pro, WinDBG, OllyDBG, and Immunity Debugger. So these ones will debugging skills especially will help you a lot. And the GIAC reverse engineering malware certification is a good certification for you to help your validate your understanding in this domain. So again, the a special part about this is that at an entry level also there are many options that you will experience in the coming years, because the malwares are just getting complex and complex. So uh, if you are someone who loves programming, who loves security, and who wants to play a small part in protecting the world against malwares, this could be a perfect career option for you, especially even at a beginner level. Now, we talked about the people who hunt the threats. We talked about anti-malware experts. We talked about digital forensic specialists. Now, once the breach has happened, it's very, very important to respond to it as quickly as possible. So this is where the digital security incident responders come here, and they are the key in the any organization right now has a computer security incident response team, and this role is like a first responder. Like in the COVID emergency or in any medical emergency, usually the first responders have the they need to have the skills to respond in such a way so that the damage is minimized. So this is the role that the security incident responders have. So this role has been already present in the security domain for a long time, but right now the added advantage is that the threat intelligence that you will receive from the AI enabled tool will also help you improve yourself in this domain. And this is again a very technical centric role where you have to have a understanding of operating systems, of programming languages, of network and communications, and also uh, forensic software as well as enterprise systems monitoring. And a good certification that you can pursue here is the certified computer security incident handler. Now, according to IDC, now this role is going to be one of the most top in demand roles in the next decade of cybersecurity. So it's just going to increase. And if you like, working on the edge, working with the latest tools to analyze and respond to threats or attacks, then this could be a very good option for you. And then we go to data privacy officers. So this is more of a governance kind of roles, because we have to always balance security and compliance. So data privacy officers are the people who would be the main steward or the drivers of data protection implementation and data privacy strategy in any organization. So they will be actually dealing with the culture of data protection throughout the company, and they will ensure enterprise wide compliance. So what will they do? They'll provide in-house legal advice on privacy by design, data sharing, and transfer of data. So, what should they know? Now, the good thing is that when we talk about cybersecurity, it is not just a technical field. So, this is one of the examples of a next generation defender role, where no matter if you also have a background in law or in financial accounting and so on, you can actually get into this role, and you just need to have a passion and love and understanding about data protection, privacy, advocacy, information security, and regulatory compliance. So IAPP or ISACA certifications can help you a lot in progressing your knowledge in this domain. And especially the appointment of TPO for public authorities and companies processing large amount of special categories of personalized data will just become very important. So this role has a lot of scope for growth in the coming future. Now, I gave you a brief about the next generation of digital defender roles that we all will need in the future, and this will be again driven by AI, big data, social media, and mobility. So, partly these tools will help us in protecting ourselves, and partly they'll also increase our attack surface. So, it's like a fine balance that we all have to maintain. So, to the future, what does this actually mean? So, cyber threats are becoming bigger and better every day. So, this is a reality. We cannot hide from it, we cannot run away from it. But the responsibility lies with you. I urge you to not just think about your role in cybersecurity as a 9 to 5 job where you get a good salary and recognition, but you also have this added responsibility of acting as a digital defender to save the world. Because no matter what you do, no matter who you are, it is never too late to do your bit to save the world. So every little action you take to make yourself, your community, and your organization safer counts. I just urge you to remember that. And as I said, that no matter what your background is, you can cybersecurity is everybody's responsibility, and together, especially as women, we have a very, very important role here. So I cannot urge you more to do your bit to save the world. So don't think that you are powerless or you cannot do much. There is always something that you can do. So if you are, for example, interested in saving children from cyberbullying, so there are many forums out there who are doing a lot to protect our children. If you are interested in privacy advocacy, there are many groups that you can join. If you are interested in mentoring and facilitating the growth and growth of the next generation of digital defenders, there are many mentoring groups out there where you can mentor. So there are just incalculable and invaluable ways in which you can make a difference to the world. So let nothing stop you from this. And that brings me to the end of today's presentation. So if you are interested, please get in touch with me on LinkedIn or via my email, which is here. These are some of the additional readings that I would recommend. So the World Economic Forum has a very good article on what the COVID pandemic teaches us about cybersecurity. So this can really help you if you're interested in exploring more. So I'm also someone who writes for a online forum called Access Cyber. It's a website dedicated to creating or collating free resources for preparing the next level of digital defenders. So please go ahead and explore it. And then there is also a cybersecurity career guide, an excellent resource to help you figure out where you stand in cybersecurity and how you can be the next generation of digital defenders. So I would end my presentation on this thought that I would share with all of you. So, security is not just an information technology thing, it is a mindset, a way of life. It is not a luxury, it is a necessity and should be everyone's priority. So, please stay curious, stay compassionate, and stay cyber smart. Thank you once again to Tech Now Day for this amazing opportunity. Thank you very much.